Unleash the Kraken. Do you know what the Kraken is? The Kraken is the end of us. A colossal elemental beast. It doesn't think, it doesn't feel. Even the gods fear it. Release the Kraken!
When you know that your people are God, you do what it takes to defend them. Get at whoever's against them, and don't hesitate to avenge them. When you know that your people are God, you thankful that you in their likeness. Ain't no more worshiping whiteness, ain't killing your enemies righteous. When you know that your people are God, you do what it takes to defend them. Get at whoever's against them, and don't hesitate to avenge them. When you know that your people are God, you thankful that you in their likeness. Ain't no more worshiping whiteness, ain't killing your enemies righteous. When you know that your people are God, come on, you know that they only on top cause we left. Right. When we wake up, we gon' get them and put them back where our ancestors should have left them. Yeah, I said F them, but y'all gon' protect them. If it's between them and God, you select them. Worship they idols, your spirit erect them. They killing our people, why can't you reject them? The Bible corrupt, the Quran is corrupt. As long as they use them to subjugate us. If the religion not picking us up, then put the book down and don't pick it back up. We God, the scriptures are you. We already did everything that they do. Africans wrote everything that they read. Our ancestors bled but will never be dead. You know that your people are God. When you can survive up my alpha, become educators and doctors. The enemy's mad cause he's not us. You know that your people are God. When after racism and lynching, you packing 1,000 inventions. Y'all niggas ain't paying attention. Or you know that your people are God. This is our land. We were everywhere before anybody else was anywhere. We're the makers, the owners. Mankind is made in our image.
You know that your people are God. When after the savages take us, kidnap and murder and rape us, enslave us and still cannot break us. You know that your people are God. Whenever I step to my altar, the ancestors take what I offer and watch all my enemies falter. You know that your people are God. When after the savages take us, kidnap and murder and rape us, enslave us and still cannot break us. You know that your people are God. Whenever I step to my altar, the ancestors take what I offer and watch all my enemies falter. You know that your people are God. Who on this planet can stop the black woman? Chase my seeds, you better take heed. When we wake up, all my enemies bleed. I'm a new African, whitey can't stop. Bucky can't steal and Heather can't block. Let's make it clear like a shot of the rock. I'ma get free while y'all wait on Barack. We gods. When we don't vote, we gods when they got us chained up on the boat. We gods in the pen, we gods in the bricks. There's nothing wrong with us that we cannot fix. Don't know your power, you can't see the light. This is your hour, you ready to fight? A mother, a sister, a warrior, wife. I know I'm a god, but that on my life. You know that your people are gods. When they infect you with the virus, you still having babies despite this. Can't help it, the whole woman's lifeless. You know that your people are
Family. If you're in or near Columbia, South Carolina, you've got to visit the House of Hathor, located at 6319 North Main Street. Open Tuesday through Saturday, it's your one-stop shop for African clothing, African masks, natural soaps, incense, candles, jewelry, and more. Plus, they've got a beautiful event space. Owned and operated by Baba Rutaski and Mama Neterma Canute. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the culture. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the movement. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the people.
place where kids can build their confidence and learn how to write, read, type, all of that good stuff. We learn our history here. We honor our ancestors, so we learn about who we are and where we come from, and I really enjoy this about this school. And like everybody's pretty much saying, it's a safe space, and we can always be able to feel like we can open up to our classmates and our teachers. So that's what I love.
I love the environment and that they promote not being afraid to ask for help.
Something positive about the Hoover Academy is this is a safe space, and you can be able to say whatever you want to say without being embarrassed, just like how Imani said. I've been able to, sometimes I can be shy talking around people, but y'all have taught me not to be shy and everything. This is a very good school. The part that I love about this is when we do ancestor reverence and African history.
I think this is the greatest school I've ever went to because you teach me about my history, and at the other schools, they never taught me one thing about my history. They just taught, the only black people they talked about at my other schools were Carter G. Woodson, Martin Luther King, and I think that's it. So you guys helped me learn my true history.
You are as great as any man of greatness that you've heard about, read about, or seen in real life, possibly greater.
Everybody wanna build with me, politic and chill with me. They see the fire's killing me, the authentic is feeling me, the architects are feeling me. You're dreaming about killing me, they wish that they could silence me because I feel so violently. We will not go quietly, subscribe to me until this show is virally. Got millions trying to vibe with me. Let's build.
Peace, 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 and power to everybody out there. This is your brother, Baba Ojuwoke, and this is The Build, you know what I'm saying? And we just jumping on Sunday night, man, winding things down, getting ready for a powerful week. And I thought I'd come in and just do a quick rundown, a quick summary of some of the stories or the trending topics out there. Kind of look at them at an from an African-centered perspective, and from the perspective of my experiences, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can benefit from that. I understand that people are not just looking to be entertained, but we're also looking for understanding. And so when all this madness is going on, we can ignore it, or we can address it and pull lessons from it that the people will understand and appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Our youth are watching, our young people are watching, and they got questions. You know what I'm saying? They got questions, and we need to impart. Those of us who we done lived a little bit, we need to be ready to impart some wisdom on those who come behind us. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do a quick build tonight. I'm not going to keep y'all long. I just want to offer a couple of perspectives that maybe I haven't heard a lot of, you know what I'm saying, when discussing these topics, to see if it can help you out. You know what I'm saying? So and you can help me out, you know what I'm saying, jumping in the comments, let me know what you think as well. But I like to put things in context, you know what I'm saying? And I'm somewhat of a student of history. And so when you're a student of history, a lot of times you can see what's going on in the present and relate it to things that's been going on in the past, and you can glean some wisdom from it. You know what I'm saying? But before we do that, of course, I have to let everybody know to support the Uhuru Academy. All right, African-centered education at its best. We are building schools, developing programs, building strong children, bringing families together, and we just completed our 15th year. 15 years in the game, Uhuru Academy. Shout out to everybody that's been involved along the way. Shout out to all our Fort Worth family where we founded our school. Shout out to the Houston family where we helped establish the Prince Circular Legends Academy. Shout out to our South Carolina family where we are right now, where we help establish UASC International Learning Center right here in Hopkins, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Roxbury Roots, who've received the teaching training on the Uhuru Academy model, you know what I'm saying? And all the other programs that we've been able to work with over the years. All of our Operation Reconnect graduates and students and those who have gone on to do great things over the years. We appreciate you trusting us. We appreciate you being a part of what I believe to be one of the most powerful education experiences for Black children on the planet today, and that's the Uhuru Academy. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, we have the Uhuru Academy online summer school is back. You know what I'm saying? The best summer school for Black children in the world is back. It's the Uhuru Academy online summer school going down this summer. All you got to do is visit uhuruacademy.com to get more information. We're doing 3 sessions, y'all. June 9th through 13th, June 23rd through 27th, and then we got July 21st through the 25th, and I'm talking about academics, I'm talking Black history, of course we play games, we have fun, I'm talking vision development, life skills, it's engaging, it's interesting, and it's transformative. And I'm not telling you something somebody had told me, I'm telling you something that I've experienced. Wait a minute, I'm lying. Somebody else have told me that too. Our parents tell me that, right? Our students tell us that, right? This is proven. This ain't what we gonna do. This is what we currently do. You know what I'm saying? So the Uhuru Academy online summer school, ages 9 through 16. Y'all get with me, uhuruacademy.com. Do your thing, right? And if you say you ain't got no children, I feel that, right? But you can go donate at $ Uhuru Academy, you know what I'm saying? And you can provide a scholarship. Help me make it free. Help me make it free from everybody. They don't give grants to empower Black people like this, right? And we don't want it. We want to keep as many of our programs independent as possible, so we can do what we need to do for our children and not have to worry about reprisals or being watered down by the government. And it's also great to be independent. It's great to be independent. It's great to build on your own land. You understand what I'm saying? Your rights are different. No one can snatch it away, and so our programs are independent. Our programs are second to none. We've developed this curriculum really over the past 30 years, but culminating and putting it into practice for the last 15 years, and we stand by those results. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. All right then, cool. So tonight, somebody just messaged me. I'm sorry, I ain't watching. I'm tired of Diddy. They say it's been all over. This case has been all over the news. You know what I'm saying? And I know though a lot of us don't engage into that day to day like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't engage in it like that to that point. But I definitely understand what the sister's saying. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do a quick wrap up because it's been talked about, and I just want to offer a couple of perspectives. Right? I'm not here to talk about guilt or innocence, right or wrong. Is Cassie a part of it or that sort of thing? I want to encourage everybody, number one, to look at the dynamics of the relationship, right? And the power relationship, because every relationship that you're in is a power relationship, right? We believe in power relationships in America. We believe in people owning and controlling other people's means of survival in America. Yes, we do. That's why you grow up and you go get a what? J-O-B. You got to get out there. You got to work for somebody else. And y'all come together and y'all have to pray to that company. Y'all got to pray that that company survives, because that's your job. You got to pray that the CEO of that company is in good standing, because you rely on that CEO for your job. You got to pray that the CEO ain't money laundering, that the CEO ain't hooked on coke. You got to pray that whoever you work for, wherever you work, if you're working for somebody else, you're in a power relationship with your employer, right? And when it comes to the music business and power relationships, this ain't nothing new. Music executives abusing their power is nothing new. Just like CEOs abusing their power is nothing new, right? And I'm not saying this to minimize. I'm saying it don't act surprised, and don't think that it can't happen to that dreamer in your family. Don't think that it can't happen to that dreamer, that person in your family who thinks that their value comes if they're famous. That the value comes if they can be a star, right? If they can be lured into situations with promises, right? Right? Don't think that this doesn't currently exist, because it does. And you have to be mindful of that, right? You have to be mindful of the decisions that you make. You got to be mindful of the people that you're around, and you got to know your limits. You got to know, what are you willing to do to achieve success, right? I've done some things in order to build the Uhuru Academy. I've lost houses, I've lost cars, I've risked it all in order to build my business, because that's what I was willing to do in order to get it done, right? But my limits, the distance I'm willing to go, ain't the same distance that somebody else would be willing to go. Other people would have closed the Uhuru Academy down years ago. Other people, when they were faced with a bill or faced with choices, you know what I'm saying, that they had to take, you know, that put the school at risk, there are other people who said, nah, we closing this school. We got to figure out another way to do it. And they would look at somebody like me and say, man, you crazy. You stupid. Why you sacrificing all of that? Why you sacrificing all that for this school, right? But it's because I believe in the vision. I believe in the outcome. So even when it got painful, I stayed. A lot of people are asking and questioning, well, why did she stay that long? Why did she stay that long? Why would she put up with that? And we say that about women who are abused, or people who are in abusive relationships a lot. A lot of times we say, why did that person stay that long? That's dumb. I'd have been gone. Maybe you would have been gone. But whatever it is that person is believing in, and it's not every case, but in some cases, especially in the entertainment business, a lot of times, right, the person wants that fame so bad. They believe in that promise so bad that they give their all to it. They give their all to it. You can't make them leave. Some people are willing to die out of bad situations. That's just the reality of it, right? How many young brothers are dying out of the gang life? How many of them are saying, man, this is the block. I'll die for this block. I'll die for this. How many say that, and you looking like you don't own nothing on the block? You looking around like you have no real power on this block, but you'll die on this block? You'll die over that? You're willing to die? Why, though? We can't just explain it away by calling people stupid. Why? What's their reasoning? What's their belief system? Is the block his identity? Just like with this young lady, with Cassie. Was signing with Bad Boy her identity, right? And I looked it up. She wasn't some poor girl from the hood that got tricked into this, right? She's classically trained. She was raised in Connecticut, went to an exclusive secondary school, got into the industry the proper way, was working with Ryan Leslie for a minute, right? And then she left him and got with Diddy, you know, on a personal level and to further her career. Now, people are debating whether or not the behavior she participated in was on her or on him, you know what I'm saying? And he wrong, she wrong. We're not going to get into that. But what I am going to point out is that you'd be surprised what somebody will endure if they believe in the prize, if they want the prize enough. So be careful about the prizes that you promote to your children. Be careful. See, for us poor folk, us working folk, right? Wealth is dangled in front of us. That's our prize. We want money. We go online and we see people with stuff that we can only dream about having. And we start wanting it so bad that we start compromising our integrity to get it. We start compromising and betraying our belief system in order to get it. And when the consequences come, everybody calls it senseless. But was it senseless? Poverty already sucks. It sucks even worse when you have access to watch people be rich. So when you see a young lady who wants to be a star, who wants fame, and she's giving of herself to powerful men in order to move ahead, that's an American pastime. That ain't new. That's an American pastime. When you see a man with power abusing that power and harming others, that's an American pastime. They're being good rich Americans. And I'm not saying they all do it, but this country was built on people owning and abusing other people. There's a book I want y'all to check out called The Pedagogy of the Oppressed, right? And I want y'all to Google that. I'm putting it in the chat right now. The Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire, right? And I might have messed up his last name, but it's Paulo Freire. And it's called The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And what this book talks about, right, is how a pedagogy is how you're taught. Your pedagogy is your curriculum. Your pedagogy is how you respond and learn from the environment around you. And what it talks about in that book is that if you take the oppressed and give them power without re-educating them or without them bringing a different cultural paradigm with them, the oppressed, when they get power, they become the oppressor. And they treat their own the same way, right, that the oppressor treats everybody. The oppressed, when we get power without a cultural shift, we become the oppressor. And that's what we watch with a lot of our rich celebrities and things that get caught up. Look who they hanging out with. Look who they learning it from. It don't excuse it. You get what you get. And they only get caught when the people who introduced them to the culture don't protect them anymore, because they still doing it. Whoever hip Diddy to it, they still doing it. Whoever he pissed off and they knew exactly where all the bodies were buried because they was at the freak off too, they still doing it. They're still protected. He's not. Now he gonna get what he get. I don't know what's gonna come of it because they just started the trial and the real bomb I don't think is dropped yet. They charging him with the Mann Act. Y'all know the other name for the Mann Act? The White Slave Trafficking Act. That's the actual name. That's what the Mann Act is actually called. The White Slave Trafficking Act. Founded in 1910 in response to Jack Johnson traveling over state lines with his young white girlfriend. Chuck Berry was hit with it too. Another one who had an affinity for European girls. You know what I'm saying? He got hit with the Mann Act. He served 20 months. Jack Johnson served a year. Diddy got the racketeering, but he also got that Mann Act. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it works out. But what I want us to glean from it all, pay attention to the power relationships in your life. For some of us, cookies is Diddy. No, them cookies whooping you. Them cookies kicking you down the hall just like that, right? For some of us, cigarettes is Diddy. Huh? Alcohol is your abuser, or you're abusing it, right? Let's be careful how we judge others, because some of us getting beat up and we go pick our abuser up. We go buy our abuser from the liquor store. We buy our abusers from the grocery store. We consume the abuse. We abuse our what? Ourselves. So when you see somebody abusing themselves, just using somebody else to do it, also take time out and ask yourself, who's my abuser? Most of the time, you're going to come back with your name. That's all I'm saying about that, right? So let me move on. Another thing I wanted to talk about right quick tonight was the statue of the black woman, a 12-foot statue of the average everyday black woman that was put in Times Square in New York. It's my understanding that it was a young black British artist who did the sculpture. And yes, I know that he's married to a white woman and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's neither here nor there, right? But this sculpture, right, is in the middle of Times Square. And it's basically, and the artist says this, it's basically a sociology test. It's basically a mentality test to see how people respond to seeing a picture of just an anonymous, average, everyday black woman with a regular figure, right? And my God, I don't know if he was looking to see how white people was gonna respond or how black people was gonna respond. But I've been noticing how black people have been responding to it. And a lot of y'all is making an effort. When I saw the statue, I just saw a statue of a beautiful black woman. And I was very interested to see how people were going to perceive that. And I'm not saying I'm holier than now. I had my days. I had my days of stereotyping and things like that, but that was a long time ago. I fell in love with black women a long time ago, though. All of them, all shapes and sizes. I'm going to find something fine on you. I love, and my wife knows this, I love black women, right? So when I saw this picture, I thought of a wife. She looked like a wife standing at the door, watching her husband get out the car so he can come in and eat that plate that she just fixed. Get you one, brother. I saw a mother watching her children run around and play at the park. That's what I saw. Right? But for other people, shame kicked in instantly. Oh, that's the best they can do. They gotta put that right. They gotta put that image right there of the black woman. No, that ain't the best they can do. And yes, the black women come in all shapes, sizes, and in professions and in wardrobes. But that statue is just of that black woman. It ain't the only statue of black women in the world, and if it is, that says more about us than about the artist. That's just that black woman. Ask yourself, why did that offend you? They didn't put a sign on that say, ain't your mama. They didn't put a sign on that say, here stands a slave. It's just a statue with no plaque, just standing there. Why you mad? If it triggered you, why did that trigger you? You have to ask yourself that. Right? You have to ask yourself why that image of a black woman, and be honest, there's more black women shaped like that than shaped like Meg Thee Stallion. And a lot of y'all love one. And a lot of black women who didn't like it, you are one. And that's all good. I'm saying that as a compliment because I think she fine. We have to be careful. We have to be careful and be mindful of how we feel about ourselves, about the emotions that are evoked when we see images of ourselves in any scenario. Why would you assume she's ghetto? Why would you assume that someone's trying to mock you? So any sister walking around right now that honestly look like that, that's an embarrassment. Any sister, even if she a lawyer and she come home and take off her business clothes and put on some relaxing clothes and go outside and put her hands on her hip and look down the street, that's embarrassing. How you know the 12-foot statue black woman can't be an astrophysicist who's off from work and just dressed down? It's dressed down Friday. She can be anybody you choose to put in your mind. That's the test. But you saying they trying to mock us. We've been mocked since we've been here. Now that is true. We've been mocked since we've been here. Matter of fact, we've been mocked so much that if they just drop a statue in the middle of Times Square and don't say nothing, you assume it's an insult. And it makes sense to assume that based on history. And it could be that. But I want you to question, what about that told you it was an insult? How could you look at that with anybody telling you that it's an insult and say it's an insult? What is she doing? She not twerking. What is she doing? I literally seen an education professional. I ain't gonna name a name. I seen an education professional talk bad about the statue, but I've been in an education pep rally with that education professional, and they danced to a rendition of a Sexy Red song to encourage the children to do well in school. If you bob in the Sexy Red, you can't be offended by that statue. And no offense to Sexy Red, I'm just talking about to the people who are dealing with toxic shame. Ain't it funny what we subconsciously accept and then what we automatically get triggered by? Some of y'all are just embarrassed because you're always embarrassed when white people are embarrassed. You're always embarrassed if you think white folks is gonna be laughing at you. You get embarrassed. You know white folks gonna be looking at that laughing. See, that's why they laugh at us. That's why they laugh at us. No, they laugh at us because you care that they laugh at you. That's the funny part. Yeah, no, the funny part is that you care. They're not laughing at your clothes. They're laughing at your mentality. They're laughing at your inability to understand how great and how beautiful you are, even while they try to look like you. They laughing at your shame. Man, I might go to Times Square just to check out that statue. That statue make me think about my aunties. That statue make me think about my mama. That statue make me think about black women that I've encountered throughout my life. He ain't put no interpretation on it. So art is left up to interpretation. So we can look at that and act like we gonna protest. Don't put that right there. Or we can just define it for ourselves and use it as an opportunity to promote the working class black woman and what she goes through, what she endures, what she accomplishes in the face of all these challenges. You can do that too. All right. Last topic for the night. Tomorrow marks the 100th date of birth of one of our great leaders, known commonly as Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, known commonly as Malcolm X, right? And I want to shout out to all of the cities, Dallas, Atlanta, Greenville, and other places that celebrate his birth every year with Malcolm X festivals, right? I want to take time out to encourage everybody, because you won't understand the importance of Malcolm unless you understand his story. His story, for me, is just as, if not more important than his politics and his ideas. All right? Now, his ideas, absolutely, study those. Black nationalism, study that. The Organization of Afro-American Unity, study that. The teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad that he represented so well, study that. But also study the process that made Malcolm. This is why Malcolm is so important today, because we have some transforming to do. And Malcolm is an example of the transformative power of knowledge of self. You're talking about a young man who left school in the 6th grade. Wait a minute. First, you're talking about a young man that was born into a black and proud family, Garveyites. Then as a child, his father is murdered by whites in the town that they live in, simply because his father is out there encouraging other black people to build, to get educated, to own their own land, to farm, to function, to hold their families together. They say he was being too uppity, and he murdered his father. His mother, who was more than a housewife, she was a Garveyite as well, a poet, an activist who wrote articles for the Negro World newspaper, Marcus Garvey and the UNIA's newspaper. Louise Little, proud black woman. But when the patriarch was killed, right? When the source of the majority of the income was killed, they had 7 children together. This proud mother refused to take welfare and get assistance. And she cleaned clothes, she washed floors, she did whatever she needed to do to take care of her children until she just couldn't do it anymore. She was being blackballed in the area because the folks knew about her politics. Finally, she accepted state assistance. And they wasted no time coming in and inspecting the house, coming in and inspecting the children and disrespecting her spaces and doing things that just ran counter to everything that she believed in, and ultimately, it broke her. There's some powerful books about Louise Little and Earl Little. I suggest that you go get it. Malcolm's parents were powerhouses, but notice how this proud black family now, through murder, right, and state-sanctioned harassment, is broken up. Scattered. Malcolm goes to live in Boston. Ultimately ends up dropping out of school because of a teacher telling him that niggas can't be lawyers. Ended up hustling on the streets. Ended up going to prison. But still having seeds sown in his mind from his parents. His siblings reach out to him while he's in prison. Expose him to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Through those teachings, he started developing discipline and habits. And through those habits, he began reading more and got addicted to reading. He found a new drug, reading, and read the dictionary from cover to cover. Came out of the penal system on fire within the Nation of Islam, showing an uncanny gift to communicate, to uplift our people, to uplift people all over the world. Woo. Why is he important? Because you might be raising them out. You might have a young dude in your house right now that you think he's just a young rebellion, but he ain't nothing but a Malcolm in the making if he can get the right teaching. You might have a youngster that's going through something. Man, I got students who go through things, man, and shout out to my Uhuru Academy families. You know, I have students who have gone through some horrible trauma. You know what I'm saying? And it's an honor being a part of their journey, imparting knowledge of self upon them so they can use it as a tool to help them deal with that trauma, to help them lay a foundation of confidence so they won't be easily exploited because of their trauma. Malcolm wasn't different. It was a lot of brothers being exposed to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But how did it resonate so well with him? Because the seed was already planted. What I've learned in my over 30 years of teaching black youth is that sometimes it ain't the youth that you've been talking to every day for 5 or 6 years. Sometimes it's that one youth that you planted a seed in for a little bit, that you taught for a week, that you taught at a camp, and you look up and they setting the world on fire. You look up, right, and they out here trying to pick up the torch. And you have students that fall off along the way. I've seen children get it at home, fall all the way off, but then when they're reintroduced to it, you can't stop them. That's Malcolm. Once he was reintroduced, you couldn't stop him. That's why Malcolm is important. He's not the only one of us who've undergone, who made mistakes, right? And had to undergo a transformation. Many of you out there, you're not the person that you used to be. And that's why I pay homage to systems like the Nation of Islam. Whether you're in the nation or not, you can't deny its transformative power. I remember we started this RBG thing and had a couple of Muslims come to me like, yeah, man, I said, lead the nation. I'm about to come over and get big down with y'all, the RBG. And I'm like, okay, but if you leave the nation, don't leave your discipline. Matter of fact, we need you to bring some of that 1 meal a day over here. We need you to bring some of that prayer 5 times a day over here. We need you to bring that eat to live over here. So if you want to walk out of there right? Don't leave the discipline at the door. When Malcolm left the Nation of Islam, he didn't stop being a Muslim. He didn't stop praying. He didn't use it as an excuse to start smoking again, to start drinking again. He held on to his core values, and he held on to the discipline that he developed in the nation as he moved on to the next phase in his life. And we all know that his life was cut short. But the 39 years, almost 40 years that he gave us, right, is a powerful lesson within itself. He's truly our shining black prince. We'll be celebrating him tomorrow at the Uhuru Academy. You know, we're going to watch Malcolm X Make It Plain, which I think is a great documentary. Hey, Ruthless, please replay. Right? But again, let me reiterate. There's a Malcolm X in your house. There's a Betty Shabazz in your house. They don't look like who they gonna be right now. That's why, let me shout out to the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. The whole team. Because one of the things that we stress it this year are our Youth Leadership Awards. Recognizing young people who are beating the odds. Young people who are doing powerful things in spite of obstacles that are in their lives. Because those are our next Malcolms. And we have to do a better job as a community. We have to do a better job as a community of recognizing that in our children. They shouldn't have to go to jail first, right? We need to do a better job of recognizing those traits in our children and protecting those traits. Wrapping a culture around those traits where our children who are bold, they'll be bold in a way that benefit them and the people around them. The ones that are warriors, they'll be warriors in a way that benefits them and the people around them. The ones who are natural entrepreneurs, they'll do it in a way to help them and the people around them. We got to do a better job of spotting our Malcolms before they fall. Because the issue is a lot of Malcolms, potential Malcolms fall, and they never get back up. We lose them. We don't go get them. We don't retrieve them. We give up on them just as quick as everybody else. We pretend that they're not there. There's an African proverb that says, the children who are ignored by the village will burn it down in order to fill its warmth. Right? So I'm wrapping it up. As far as the Diddy trial is concerned, peep the power relationships, and then look at the power relationships in your life. As far as the black woman statue, ask yourself, why does statue bother me? And when it comes to the importance of Malcolm X, study his story, because you have some potential Malcolms in your house. This has been a quick build with Baba Amin. Like and share this video. Peace.